Hey everyone, it's Simon from High Plane Games with a review of Fragments of Him. This is a 3D interactive story that's available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. It's a walking simulator type game, so these live and die by the stories that they tell, just like visual novels, so if you aren't invested in it then you won't enjoy the experience itself. Fragments of Him works for me on several levels, although it's not entirely successful with what it does. The game revolves around four main characters. The main person is killed in the very beginning of the game in a car crash, and it then spends about 25 to 30 minutes with each of three people that it leaves behind. His boyfriend, who is bereft with loss, his first love, who then became his friend in all of this scenario, and she's kind of in a what if, I'm so glad that I met him type scenario, and his grandmother, who loved him as a child but then struggled with his sexuality and have had kind of a tense relationship with him since. The best things that come out of Fragments of Him is its philosophy on life, love, death and remembrance. It actively encourages you through some of the visuals as well as the story itself to not bury memories of people that you've loved that have then passed on, so that you can pick them up and take them with you. And the clue's in the name with the fragments. It's building pieces of memories back together again so that you can keep that with you and carry that with you. It doesn't mean you don't stop living for what's out there now, but you can still go on into the future, and I found that that was a really positive message that the game continued to show me throughout its time. And particularly in the final third act with the boyfriend, his story, I think visually and gameplay wise, and it all comes together, and that section of the game is by far the strongest element of Fragments of Him. The voice acting worked really well too, so each character sells itself quite well, and the script itself and what they're talking about works well for what it does too. The other thing that it talks about is around how, you know, when memories kind of, they pop out of the blue and you're thinking, why am I thinking of that? Because it feels really inconsequential. This game is built around a lot of those types of memories, but what that doesn't mean is that it's a really enthralling story. In particular, the section with the grandmother. There's this ongoing row that she has around Princess Diana coming out with an affair in the mid-90s, and it seems so inconsequential and over the top, yet it's made into like this big moment. And even she's going, I don't know why I remember this. And I was kind of thinking, I feel like we've missed the entire point here, but I get what you're trying to say. There could have been a better way to have done it. And there's a lot of the first half of this game is full of that type of storytelling, which I think will put people off on the long term and maybe not necessarily sell the message going home. For me, this type of game is really chalk and cheese. You'll either love it or you'll hate it, and I don't think there's going to be too many people like me in the middle. It reminds me very much of that Dragon Cancer, which was on PC, which was again a visual novel following exactly the same type of cues, going around clicking on different objects, progressing the story and selling a mood. And that's what Fragments of Him does, selling the mood of post-death loss, emptiness and a void, but then actually selling a positive message at the end of it. That Dragon Cancer didn't necessarily have that positive message for everyone, but at least I think with Fragments of Him, where I think it's slightly more successful in terms of giving a story and a projection of what it wants you to take away with the game, it sells that end point much more efficiently and effectively. So yeah, Fragments of Him is out now, and it won't be for everyone, but if this tickles your fancy, pick it up because it's quite often on sale and quite cheap. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. This channel is just one of my many projects that cover games, music and film. If you enjoy any of these and would consider supporting me to develop further in the future, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Satorimon. Thank you for your time and for watching the video.